it's weird. It's like creeping on her before we actually. Yeah, we're both just like.
We're all creeping on each other. So I creep. Yeah, just creep.
Can you talk a little bit about the film and maybe why did you come with such a story? Is it based on a personal experience maybe?
Yes, before I went to film school, I worked at a group home for troubled teenagers, and it was a job that I just stumbled into, and it was one of the craziest experiences of my life, and that all those things that I either witnessed or heard about while I was working there stuck with me for years afterwards, and that's where this story came from.
Can you sum up, like in a few words, the story of Grace and Mason?
Most of the story takes place in a residential facility for at-risk teenagers.
Yeah.
So it's like a foster care type of facility that is run by Grace, played by Brie Larson, and Grace is a supervisor for this group home, and she works there with her boyfriend, who is played by John Gallagher Jr.
Okay, maybe Brie, you can talk about your character, Grace. This is your first lead role in a feature film. What was the experience of?
I mean, the thing that resonates with me is that I've always kind of, strangely being an actor, avoided the camera being on me. I feel really lucky that this man gave me the confidence in order to feel like I was the right person to do this. And the one thing that I can walk away with is that what he wrote on the page, I feel like I did, and it's really good what he did on the page. So it worked out. It worked out well. It worked out really well.
Everybody was crying in the theater, including me sometimes. So, John Gallagher, maybe you can talk a little bit about your role as Mason, also a big help for Grace in the film as his boyfriend.
Mason is Grace's boyfriend, and they're both caretakers for a living. It's their profession. They were both dealt a pretty unfortunate hands as children. Mason's probably not as traumatic and tragic as what happens to Grace when she's young, but they both come from broken homes, and and took different kind of paths, and Mason got embraced by a foster family very early on in his life, and it's shaped the way that he grew up into to really being a caretaker, to feeling so fortunate about how he got rescued, that he wants to kind of rescue everyone.
There is a lot of hope, especially at the end when you both tell the story of this young rapper that came back and was drinking cappuccino. That's a very beautiful and positive story that's come at the end of the movie.
Yeah, more so than it being a movie about group homes. It happens to take place in a group home, but it's a movie about love and family and learning how to create family wherever you are.
Brie, you said like you were very pleased to have been chosen by Destin to do this role, etc. And so like, how did you come up with such a cast, like for lead actors, but for kids as well? It must be really difficult.
Casting is a crazy process that when I start, I'm just scared out of my mind, because it feels impossible that I'd ever find the perfect people to play Grace and to play Mason. But there's like a moment when I was, and it happened over Skype for both of these guys, where while we were Skyping, there was just a moment while I was looking at them on a screen, which is cool because I'm like, it's almost like I'm seeing what they'd look like on a movie, but there's just a moment where it just clicks and something inside me just gets really excited, and I feel like I'm looking at the character. And that same thing happened with all the kids who are mind-blowingly good. I mean, we saw a lot of people for the different roles, and there's just something that happens. I go from being really depressed to just really excited.
Destin, I'm gonna finish with one question, one French question for the filmmaker you
I
are.
love French questions.
Did you see? Did you see two French films? The one is Police, and the other one is The Class. Have you heard about this film?
I love The Class.
Ah, you saw The Class.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you inspired?
Is this new? I want to see it.
It
When
has
is The
like
Class?
2-3 years. It's a great
I
film.
haven't
love
seen
it.
either
You
of them.
would love it.
Of course, I know I'll love it.
I have not seen.
I've
Police
been,
was
been
released
brushing up on my
more
French
recently. Okay, you have to go. Thank you very much, Destin, Brie, John, for doing this interview, and see you soon on Daily Motion. Take care.
Thank you.